Have you ever considered what it's like to immerse yourself in a sound bath? Well, today I have you covered. Join me as I invite a special guest to dive into the unique experience of a sound bath and spill all the details on the afterbath. Welcome to the Afterbath, where we explore unique experiences and wellness practices. I'm your host, Matt. Today we have a special episode where we'll be diving into the world of sound baths. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be immersed in soothing sound waves, you're in for a treat. Join Loretta as she embarks on her 5th of 6 transformative sound baths, a journey of inner peace and self-discovery. Having crossed the halfway point, she's now at a critical stage where participants often experience a profound shift in perception. Wisdom is beginning to take root, influencing our awareness in everyday life. Loretta responds to others' drama with compassion, but without getting entangled, still empathetic, yet no longer weighed down by hopelessness. She's discovering the balance of staying connected to a high vibration while remaining firmly grounded. But can Loretta sustain this newfound clarity and connection? Let's keep watching to find out. So, welcome back, Loretta. Now, this is your 5th sound bath?
5th session, yes.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So, you're past the monumental 4th sound bath.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, this generally, the 4th sound bath, you'll have a bit of a breakthrough. It's not always the case for everyone. What do you think for you?
I think the realisation came through after the 3rd one.
Wow.
And feel like it was bedded down in that 4th.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that level of clarity has stayed with me.
Yeah.
The depth of insight and a level of wisdom.
Yeah.
You know, I feel wiser.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But even to say that, you know, I should be cautious on labelling it, but it just feels like there's a level of understanding now.
Yeah.
Which you could call wisdom.
Yep. Fantastic. So what is that like? What, like on a day-to-day basis, what are you experiencing?
Reactions are very different.
Right, okay.
So my reactions to some of my own personal events.
Yep.
And in particular reactions to others' different events or experiences. So my normal reaction, being an empath, is, and I like this about myself. I like to care, and be concerned and to show as much thought as possible. But it was I suppose it could be classified as an addiction in itself, that I'm addicted to that mode of responding to every issue that comes up. Even on the news, even to have the news feed come through and there's a whole traumatic list of things and I'm feeling it on a deep level. And it's too much. My nervous system is taxed to keep responding in such a deep, empathetic way.
Yes.
So I've had to realise that that's not sustainable anymore. So I've seen it now as I can have compassion.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of compassion.
Yeah.
But empathy for me has to have certain boundaries. Yeah. Because I literally feel it. I feel it in my gut. I feel it for days if someone I care about is impacted on a certain level by a sequence of events. So I've had to learn to change my way of reacting.
Got it. Yeah.
So that's the sort of wisdom I've gained, is that I don't have to stay that deep as an empath for the rest of my life. Yeah. The core always cares, always will. Yeah, absolutely. But my response now is different. So that's what I have really become clear on.
Got it. Yeah.
And it's happened quite swiftly. I thought is it once an empath, always an empath, or whatever your response trait is, or whatever your core trait is, can you change that? And I believe that we can change.
Yes.
But when it comes to this as a response, I definitely can change it. And I feel like in the last week or two, I see things differently. I can almost just take a little bit of distance and listen to what's going on and have that level of compassion and have a deep wish for someone coming through it in a positive way, or wishing the best. But I don't have to go as deep as what I was going.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Yeah.
Right. And is there anything that you would attribute that to? What would you attribute that to?
That first sound bath, when I walked out and felt that difference, a stark difference from when I walked in. So when I left here, and had a feeling of the colours were richer. It was like walking in a golden light. Yeah. Interactions were gorgeous. Didn't matter who it was or strangers, and then loved ones. It was all very different.
Yeah.
So I could see the stark contrast between one version of myself and another. Yeah. And I felt like if I can do that in one afternoon, as a result of a sound wave going through my system, why can't I replicate that? It's not like I have to walk around in an ethereal state every minute of the day, but it does show that I can shift my mode of seeing the world. Yeah. And I do love where I live. I do love this planet. I adore I keep looking out your window and this beautiful garden and watching the butterflies as they're tracing through. And I have such a depth of love for that. Yeah. And I want to maintain that as keep that on the high side rather than the chaos that we're all immersed in. And I've now seen that we choose to immerse ourselves in. Yeah. I can minimise that.
Yes.
I'm not walking through ignorant, but I'm just choosing. I know it's there. I do get updates. I know pretty much how heavy
how heavy things get.
Yeah, I can tune in at the very end of the day.
Yes.
And it can be summarised, and I can go deeper if I choose. Yeah. But I'm more conscious of it now. So I think it showed me that I can actually adapt here. Yeah. And it's time to adapt. Yeah. So the 2 weeks following that first session, I got more and more awareness of seeing things as a conscious choice at this point. I can do the old way of being a complete and utter empath and give all of myself. Yeah. And that's pretty much what I've done for decades and decades. Yeah. I'm all ears. I'm all here to help. I can adapt that version and pull back on the level of giving heart and soul, you know. It's even hard saying that, but because I do love to do that. But part of me, there's an addiction to it because it's like it's layered with shoulds and cultural expectations or societal expectations and family expectations. So it's got layers and layers of, am I really doing this from the core of who I am? Yeah. Which there's a kindness and there's deep compassion, like I was mentioning, but
for sure,
the other layers are certain expectations that I'm still kind of making sure I tick off in a way. Yeah, I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but it's more aware of all those extra layers now.
Yeah, yeah. I guess for myself is that, you know, there's a certain, I want to be recognised in society as being a good person.
Yeah.
It's good for business.
Well, as opposed to being an asshole.
Yeah.
No one.
That's right.
Yeah, some people march through life like that, but no, majority choose a good path and are trying to do,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to, you know, be seen as someone who is trustworthy, you know, and all the other qualities that, you know, you'd want other people to think about you so you can function.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you go to the bank, they don't limit your access because they found out some silly thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so for anyone who is in a situation where they feel overwhelmed, what would your recommendation be now?
Well, that's really tricky because I do have some friends that are in a challenging situation.
Yeah.
And but being the observer, not being in the middle of it, I can see it differently.
Yeah.
It's really hard to give advice and say this is, you should do it this way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So at this point, I'm not wise enough to know how best to guide someone else. Like I can feel it myself.
Yeah. How would you, maybe an easier question then, if you had to step back, let's say, 5 years or 2 years, 3 years, and you were guiding yourself?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Well, I'd be saying one thing and the other voice in my head would say, what would you know? Like, can't you see how difficult this is?
Yeah.
Can't you see how horrible that person has been? And I'm so offended, or I'm so angry over this whole thing, and they said this or this happened, and it's unfair, or whatever the angst was.
Yeah.
So
because it can be really in your face, right?
Yeah,
really in your face.
Big, yes. So if I'd gone back to that person wouldn't have been ready to hear it.
Yeah.
And I would have been wasting my energy trying to say, you're really hooking into this and you've seen this pattern before.
Yeah.
You've done this probably too many times and you're still repeating it.
Yeah.
Now, even to say that, I think the version of me maybe 5 years ago would have acknowledged, yes, I'm repeating a pattern here.
Yeah.
But the voice would have come back quickly with, but
yeah,
you didn't see how it happened this time. You didn't hear what...
Yeah. The drama in the story, right? Yeah.
I think now it's taken this long for me to really see that I can pull right back and look at myself playing in that arena and running around. Yeah, it's totally understandable. Yes, your version of what you're saying is correct. You are reporting of a very difficult, challenging dynamic that's going on. And yet it's not fair and it's not right and something should be done.
Yeah.
But watching from here and seeing it, how that's going to play out and how much time and energy and your health's not great right now and you're really going to take this on as your core issue to wrestle with for another 3 or 4 months, push yourself further into a bad health situation. Yeah. So, I can see it now, but she wasn't ready to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's only now.
Yes.
Only now.
Yeah.
At 56.
Yeah. 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 I think even probably, if I had heard that maybe, like a while back, hearing that I think would have been helpful. Just to hear that that there's someone else there that goes, maybe you're not ready to hear it, would at least make me go, no, I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm ready to hear it.
Yeah.
Come on, bring it on. Don't insult me.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drive is so much the ego.
Yes.
You know, that's, you know, like when I teach little kids, I go, this song's too hard for you. Sorry, I can't teach it to you.
And they'll be like,
come on. I want to go then. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But when you say, oh, you should do this, it's kind of like, who are you to tell me what I should be?
Straight away.
Yeah. Shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't tell me what I can and can't do.
Yeah. And you can feel that repulsion in yourself straight away when someone starts to talk to you like that.
Oh, yeah.
So, grating.
Yeah. How big are you to tell me what I should be doing?
At my age, you're still telling me what to do? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a can seem like a very tricky thing to get around, but it's actually, the ego is not that masterful. It's a pretty simple game. Yeah, pretty simple game. But yeah, I guess that's why when you see people who are quite spiritual, they don't say much. And when they do, it sounds like they are coming from a place of great wisdom. But yeah, there's almost not much you can say to some people. Yeah. Because if you say too much...
Yes, definitely. I learnt that this week.
Yeah, the mischief starts, right?
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing, eh? Just keep going. Yeah. Go a little harder even.
Let's step back even further.
Yeah. At least what I found helpful for me is to have a heart practice that I came back to. Yeah. And then have a head practice. Okay. So, I'm
curious about that.
Yeah. Head practice is you keep headbutting. You keep headbutting the way in which you think the way the world should be. And after a while, you'll soon find yourself with a headache.
I think I'm well rehearsed in that one.
Yeah. And then a heart practice is to remind you, maybe the head is not the way to go.
Yep.
So, a heart practice could be art, any form of art.
Yeah.
And something that reminds you that, hang on, this place is pretty good. Yes. So whether it's gardening or meditating or sport, yoga, whatever, as long as probably the sport's not too competitive. You do a lot of headbutting in sport as well.
I'm back to that one.
Yeah, really? Yeah, tell me what are you doing?
Oh, I can't. I don't like to talk about it. Isn't it funny? Right. I hardly talk to anyone about it.
Yeah.
It's almost like my project that when I'm ready, I'm going to be so proud to show. But
keep it under wraps then. Yeah, keep it under wraps. Yeah, unless there's something you want to tell me about it.
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Not yet.
For a later episode.
Yeah, maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
But definitely this process has helped.
Yeah.
Even walking in, I'm conscious of the colours in the garden at this point to be compared when I come out after the sound bath. Yeah. And even the feeling in the air, the sensory feel for the insects that are buzzing past, all that.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to comparing that.
Great.
And when I get home, I end up absorbed back in. We've got a beautiful fernery.
Oh wow.
and there's all the bird life at the moment weaving in and out of that. So it tunes me back in.
Yeah.
It's like the really good sensitive radio system that's getting back into the really good station.
Great.
Yeah, so
great.
that's been I've noticed that.
Yeah.
When I am in my creative practice,
Yep.
I'm back into it, but in a deeper way. I'm back. It's almost like, the first lockdown that we had, which was a bit more of a joyful one for, like, personally, we were lucky to have a really joyful early lockdown.
Yeah.
It was March, the weather was beautiful, autumn, but warmish autumn. And to be in our garden at that point in time, and I had my dog at that point, and it was just a slice of heaven.
Yeah.
And I could go deep in any of my writing, any of my creative work, and I haven't been able to capture it until now.
Right.
So, this has shown me this is how I tap back in.
Yep. That's great. Oh, well, I'm excited to hear about this practice of yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But we'll have to leave that for another time.
Okay.
So we might as well go have a sound bath.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine a moment carved out just for you. Reclined in gentle stillness, you are cradled by waves of pure resonant tones, Tibetan singing bowls, gongs and chimes, weaving their magic. Each sound becomes a loving embrace, reaching into the deepest corners of your being, dissolving tension and inviting serenity. In this sacred space, the outside world melts away. The chatter of the mind quiets, replaced by the soft hum of harmony flowing through you. It's not just an escape, it's a homecoming, a reminder of your innate balance, strength and connection to the infinite. Here, relaxation is just the beginning. A sound bath is a radiant pause in life's rhythm, offering renewal, clarity and peace. Whether you're seeking a moment of stillness or a deeper connection to yourself, this is your time. Step through the doorway and let the whispers of the universe guide you back to your center. This is your invitation to realign, recharge, and remember the essence of who you are. So Loretta.
Yes, we're back.
We're back. Okay, so we've just had the sound bath. Yeah, how you feeling?
Very relaxed. That was a real symphony.
Yeah, great.
Yes, very different to previous ones.
Right, okay. Yeah, and so what did you experience that was different?
A lot more vibrational work.
Aha.
So between the ankles there was
the heart bowl. Yes.
And that was just reverberating through the base of my feet, through my ankles. In really good. That was good.
Great. Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah.
And there were some other things that you were playing with.
Yeah.
I can't even articulate it.
Yeah. Do you think it's probably bowls, I guess. Otherwise I think you probably
a lot more of the bowl work.
Yeah. What I noticed is the gong always puts you out.
It does.
Yeah.
I thought I'm not tired at all.
Yeah.
I'm in a really good headspace.
Yeah.
But I dropped off.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly was snoring.
No, hardly at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just
thank
a bit
you.
heavy breathing.
You're a gentleman.
Yeah.
But yes, I just dropped off.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting that the gong has that depth to it. It's a little bit hypnotic. Like when it would start, reverberates all the way through. And then after the second or third strike, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to hold on. Yeah, so, okay, smashed. Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. So, different sequence that you were doing this time, and that was a beautiful symphony.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think each time you have it, you probably end up going a little deeper, and maybe on that you become more aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Definitely, probably the first one because it's new. It's almost probably overwhelming.
Yes.
Yeah. But then as you get used to them, you go, oh yeah, I recognise this and I recognise that. And then you relax, go a little deeper. And then because of that depth, you probably experience something different, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I still had the chatter at the beginning in my head.
Yeah.
But became conscious of it quickly.
Yeah.
So I'd say quicker than when I first started.
Yes.
And I started a breathing practice to quieten that down.
Yeah.
Then thought, I don't want to fall asleep, so I'll better stop that breathing practice because that's how I fall asleep now.
Yeah, yeah.
And was becoming more conscious of some of the sequences that you were doing and the impact that they had.
Yeah.
And then I decided to do a gratitude practice.
Right,
So,
okay. Yeah.
And I loved that.
Great.
So I was able to do the gratitude, the broader one, gratitude for my parents and grandparents and everything, that we have on this planet, all that kind of broader one.
Yeah.
And then brought it back and yes.
Yeah.
And then gratitude for what you were doing, that beautiful work. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm very grateful that you came along because, otherwise I wouldn't have a chance to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great.
My pleasure.
It's great, yeah. And so what are you experiencing now?
Very, very chilled.
Yeah, yeah.
Very, in a really lovely, calm state. And I did take note of the plants when I came back in.
Yeah.
And it was the plum tree, really focusing on that. It was like almost like a Christmas tree, the way it's laden with its fruit.
Yes.
Not red yet, only a few,
No.
but it was like there's something about it has you noticing more.
Yeah.
So once again with the colours and that sort of thing. So definitely there is a difference before and after visually.
Yeah.
And something in the air as well. Vibrationally you can feel a change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Senses are definitely heightened. Yeah. And but not uncomfortably so, more comfortably. Yeah. I find for myself when my senses get dull, it's because I want to retreat. Yeah, like I've had a bit of a fright during the day and now I want to crawl back into my shell.
Yes.
This is the opposite. This is where you feel bulletproof.
Yeah.
And
open.
Yeah.
It's expansive energy.
Yes.
But it's there's a calmness to it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And no fear.
No.
No, it's
no
more
fear.
lapping up the beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really lovely.
Yes. Yeah. It's a funny thing that that what diminishes people's experience of the world is just fear. And so if you got rid of fear, then you would experience more. That probably sounds quite dangerous to some people. They probably think, oh no, fear is good. Fear is protecting me.
In some ways.
Yeah, but common sense protects you. Fear just makes things dull. Yeah.
Yeah. It limits.
Limits. Yeah.
It pulls you back, and I can see how, on a broad level, how easy it is to control people when they're in that state.
Oh, yeah.
A reduced version of themselves.
Absolutely. Well, you become more compliant to whatever you think will keep you safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably along the lines of, parents say, oh, you're not allowed to go out with these people. And you go, oh, I would like to though, but, oh, well, I guess they're keeping me safe.
Yeah.
And so you become compliant to that.
That's interesting because it's like when walking back from having experienced the sound bath, it feels like an omni state, very, present from all angles.
Yes.
And I think fear is the polarised, where it's reduced all of that complexity of feeling and senses, and it's just pulled it all back into either or, black or white.
Yes.
And it's so polarised that you're kind of pulled into this, there's not much else.
Yeah, it's either good or bad. Yeah. And my life is at stake, so I've got to see it as either good or bad. And if it's bad, then I need to run from it.
Yeah.
And if it's good, I'll do everything I can to run towards it.
So I prefer the Omni.
Yeah, Omni is way better. Yeah, Omni is way better.
Super sensor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole fear business is very limiting. It's essentially like what you do to a horse when you put blinkers on it when you want it to run.
Yes. Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. Put blinkers on it, whip it on the tail, and it will run.
Yes. All the cruelty that some people do to getting a dog into submission, that...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we do it to ourselves. We just don't realise.
That's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you do heart practices, you begin to take the blinkers off and, as you say, become more omni.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you pick up everything. Yeah, pick up the full gamut.
So that's what that glow was at after the first session.
Yeah.
That's more like, the senses were all out.
Yes.
And shining. Yeah.
Yeah, because you really relax and you bring everything in.
Yeah.
If you ever see, there's some Buddha statues that if you go to certain places you see it, and their eyes are wide open, like wide open.
Yes.
Not the kind of sleepy half closed Buddha eyes, but and so that wide bright is what you're talking about, like all seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, and you let everything in.
Yes.
And when you experience very deep calm, that's actually what happens to your eyes. They become as large as saucers. Yeah.
Seeing your eyes like that right now.
Yeah, they just get bigger.
Yeah.
And it's good experience. Good experience to have. Yeah.
And from a therapeutic perspective, I can see how what you were doing around the ankles, how that could help anyone that's got a sports injury, or like if they're a dancer, and you can curate a therapeutic process for the specific, like if they're a singer or a public speaker and working on the throat chakra with that sort of work, I can really see how that...
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, relaxes everything, opens everything up, the constriction goes. Yeah, even if you just looked at it on a purely physical level, and just, because we're made up of water and the vibrations, sending ripples through you.
Yes.
And it just relaxes everything.
Yeah.
So, it's good. It's very, very powerful.
So, I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Great. So, coming up, we've got one more sound bath. Yeah. And I know last time we were talking about doing tuning forks, but we didn't get to do a tuning fork session. So maybe for the last one, we could do the bowls, and then in the middle I'll do a tuning fork session.
I'd be very interested in that.
I might have to wake you up after the gong.
Yes, please. Do a big one right next to it. Yes. It's funny how I keep seeing tuning fork trees. We were talking about it last time, and you start to see everywhere, like the forest walk that I do, and I used to do it daily, but now it's reduced down to once a week.
Yep.
And within that walk, every couple of metres there's a tuning fork tree where the trunk splits off
into.
Yes, and now I'm starting to see it. Interestingly,
that's fascinating.
All over. Yes.
Yeah, fascinating.
So, actually, I'm very keen if that's next week's trial.
Yes, absolutely.
Or experiment.
Yeah. Definitely do tuning forks. That'll be a longer session, and depending on what we find, what we pick up with the tuning forks.
Okay.
I'm kind of guessing that we've done so much work so far with the bowls and whatnot.
Yes.
There may not be much to do.
Yeah.
You might be pretty clear.
I am. I'm feeling clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tuning fork might be just simply a couple of little brushes here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling energised and
Yes.
passionate for my work.
Yes.
It feels like that let me at it energy, that.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. That's right. Yeah. So, in the beginning, usually there's like a tiredness. And then after that, there's kind of like a psychedelic, silly, laughy kind of inebriated kind of state.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's energy.
It
Once
is.
you're clear. It's
Yeah.
like, let me at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so ready now. So,
That's good.
thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Wow. Okay. Anything else before we close?
Feeling very good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, feeling a very good level of awareness, good state of equilibrium.
Yeah.
Yeah, good reset.
Yeah.
Reset, definitely.
Yeah.
Healthy, feels healthy.
Yeah. Actually, I've got a quick question. How's your breathing and posture? How do you feel, when you sit? Do you feel at ease, or do you feel like you still need to correct yourself?
I often have to correct my posture.
Yeah.
And I'm more conscious of my breathing because I was a long-term shallow breather.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I still tend back to doing the shallow breathing, but being more aware of it. I'll just...
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Breathe back in and settle down a bit. So, just being more aware of it has helped a lot.
Yeah.
But posture-wise, having to pull myself back.
Yeah.
When I get that slouchy.
But nice and relaxed.
Very relaxed, but too much time in front of the computer like this.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to be more conscious of pulling the shoulders back and deep breath, because that doesn't help the breathing at all.
No.
That was bad for a couple of decades.
Yeah. And it's probably very easy to hold your breath while you do that. Important click.
Yeah.
Click.
Just one more, and I've got a really quick focus. Quick, come on, get this done, get the done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's my breathing gone?
Explode. So, yes, conscious of it, keeping on top of that though.
Yeah, great. Great. Yeah. What I experienced in myself was that posture became more effortless. The more I went down, it became more relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, at other stages, sitting in other positions, that was slouchy position or whatnot. It wasn't that it was like, oh, I'm not sitting up straight or anything like that. It was like, oh, wow, yeah, I can really feel this, this different posture. And it was very interesting, a very interesting feeling, a very deep feeling.
Yes.
And then if I felt like, I'd like to sit up straight again and take a deep breath.
Yes.
Then, that was effortless as well. It wasn't like, just in the next commercial break, then I'll sit up straight. Give me 5 more minutes just slouching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you become more aware of all the old habits that were there and of the different muscles that need support or attention, rather than having zero awareness and stuck in a pose for ages, like I used to. If there was a time-lapse thing of me in front of the computer, I would have been frozen there like a zombie for hours on end.
Yeah, and it's amazing how long you can sit there like that, right?
Yeah.
Just eyes after a while feel sunburnt and crook neck. And yeah.
So,
yeah, that's good.
Overall level of awareness has really shifted, a lot healthier.
Great. Great. Amazing. So, all of that only just after 5 weeks.
After 5 weeks. And I can attribute it to the sound baths.
Yeah.
Because all other things have stayed the same.
Yep.
Same diet, same health fitness routine, same sleep regimen, same pattern of what I've been doing. So I can see how that, from that 5 weeks ago till now, the one big change has been the sound bath.
Yeah.
And overall, I can see it's a level of awareness, and maybe that has come through sound waves just rippling through and having their impact.
Yes.
That's just my guess.
Yeah.
Whatever routine you're applying there, or whatever chakras you're working on, I'm sure there's so much that you haven't even mentioned that you're doing within that sequence.
Yep.
So, and depending on where I'm at, like especially on that first day, you would have, I'm sure, applied a certain approach different to what today was about.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I can see how it's, well, it's brought, once again, I say, a level of awareness that I didn't have prior to this.
Yeah, great.
So, I can see big impact.
That's magnificent. Fantastic.
So thank you again.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it if it didn't work.
Yeah, because there's a lot of effort in there.
Yeah, a bit of effort.
That's a lot.
A bit of effort.
Yeah. I could feel it early on, the amount that you were coordinating, and then it dropped off to sleep.
Yeah. It's been a lifelong exploration of music and sound. So, it's I can see that if you were completely new to music and sound and you were trying to do it successfully, it would be a tremendous effort to jump the hurdle. Yeah.
And listening to it on the phone doesn't do it any justice.
No. Yeah,
that speaker on an iPhone or whatever, it's doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't come anywhere close.
No,
it's nowhere close.
No.
Yeah,
it reduces it down to a tinnier version.
Yes,
and doesn't. How could that ever replicate what that is sitting in the middle of that?
Yeah, that's right. It's like the difference between seeing a photo of someone and hugging someone.
Yes.
Yeah. Photos are nice, but it doesn't compare to a hug,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the full hug.
That's the full hug, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
My pleasure.
Excellent. Thanks, Loretta.
Thank you.
So we'll look forward to seeing you next week for your final sound bath.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Can't wait.
Excellent.
Okay.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. This has been a fascinating exploration of sound baths. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. And join us again next week as Loretta concludes her journey with her sixth and final sound bath. Until next time, stay well and keep exploring new experiences.
Hey.